Anybody want to do a forced conversation at anybody want to do a conversation at 8 a.m. Pacific time or like 7? I don't know. It seems like morning is kind of like a good time to talk. Like probably nobody wants to do this. I guess most people like have friends and most people like can enjoy social interaction. Basically, like I want to try I'm trying to force myself to learn how to communicate with people because I've avoided it my whole life. But like it seems like morning is probably a good time because at morning I have to like talk anyway to like wake up my brain. And so it just seems like probably a good habit would be to like wake up in the morning and just like talk with somebody to like wake up. But also I'm not thinking too much when I wake up in the morning. Once I start thinking too much, it's like it becomes kind of harder to just relax and just go with the flow. I'm not anyway. I'm gonna save this. If you want to chat, if you want to just chat for 20 minutes, I can do like a couple different Zoom chats. Like I could just talk like a normal person. I can be a normal person if I try, but I'm a little weird. And then I want to talk to somebody for like 20 minutes, just as like I'm learning to confront people and talk like a normal person. If you want to do that, my email's right there. Probably nobody wants to do that, but if somebody wants to do that, I'm down. Or what would be cool, it would be to do this interview. I have all these questions. I have these like life questions. I have all these life questions that I want to ask like the world. Some of them are sort of like low life questions, like don't you think men just want to have sex with the most attractive person possible, and all of this love stuff is kind of like, anyway, I don't want to, but if you don't want to talk like low life stuff, then I won't say that. Like I can just talk like a normal person. Also, if you're like a woman, I won't say a bunch of low life stuff, but it doesn't seem like women want to talk to me anyway, so I don't know, whatever. I'll dude, I wonder if all of this is like some sort of like desperate animalistic thing. Like, why am I suddenly like reaching out to people in this corner, like, please, like somebody talk to me? I wonder if at some sort of animalistic level, I'm like have some deep sense of like desperateness because I'm like shit. Like my primary caregiver who has sponsored me my whole life is like falling apart, and I don't know how to deal with life on my own. But I do sort of have. I'm going to show up in a second. Anyway, if you want to chat, I wonder. Like, there's people who know more about like the way that life works than me, and I'm so clueless, and I've been so sheltered, and I haven't really had much social interaction. American Gothic. I wonder. I wonder if. Get the point, Sean. I wonder if people who understand the way the world works better than me, they always kind of saw things in the terms of like American Gothic. Like I wonder if like people are like, I wonder if everything deep down in some sort of, I don't know. Basically I wonder the way the world works for people who aren't sheltered, and I wonder if everything is just kind of like prison, deep down. Like I've been listening to like a lot of Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan sometimes makes it sound like there's this like prison life. Like, you know, in prison, like there's like dudes in prison, and like somebody takes on a bitch. Somebody's like, I gotta take, they're like, I'll give you security if you let me put my dick into you. And I wonder if that's women's reality. Like women's reality is basically like, I gotta suffer this guy's penis because he keeps me safe and protects me. And like, is that kind of how things are deep down? What's your point, Sean? Well, if that's the case, I could never suffer a penis, and I'm too old to have any man be attracted to me anyway. But it almost seems worth it. It almost seems worth it. Like if I just think if I want to, I basically always feel like I'm making these videos because I'm talking to my ex-girlfriend, and I wonder if my ex-girlfriend, that's basically her whole thing. It's like she's like she maybe she just got taught. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to say slander about my ex-girlfriend, but I wonder if that's what women do in general. Or women are like, fuck, like it's a cold world. I'm a weaker human or something, and I have to suck dick or get a dick in me. And then I wonder if men are just like, I want some little comfortable place to put my penis, and the man's like, oh, I gotta do all this work, but I want some comfort. I don't know what it is. It's whatever it is. It's kind of like a creepy thing. Or am I just a defective human, and there's really like loving couples who are just like, no, I love my husband and he loves me, and we're just happy, and you're just lonely. I hope that's the case. I hope that there really is like real love. But sometimes I wonder, is life just like a bigger version of prison, where there's like people who are scared and they're in this place and they're like, I gotta survive, and women are like, I need protection, and there's some men who's like, I'll protect you, but it's gonna cost you. I could be a friend to you. I could be a friend. But no, he's out there, right? There's this quote in the Shawshank Redemption. Is that kind of how it is? Let me see if I can find this clip.
We all need friends in here. I could be a friend to you. We all need friends in here. I could be a friend to you.
I could be a friend to you. Is that how it is? Is that deep down the nature of life? Do men basically, they're like pimps. They're pimps, or they get resources and they find a way to survive, and then they take on a bitch. Is that basically the nature of life? And my dad just sheltered me from that whole existence. The other version of that is Barbarella. Bear guy. There's this movie called Barbarella, and there's this guy who get the point, Sean. There's this guy in Barbarella. The Barbarella. There was this guy who saved Barbarella. Barbarella was lost in the scary world of perils and dangers, and he saved her from the elements, and he kept her in his little homestead. But he's like, you gotta suffer my penis. And so I wonder, is that basically, is the world like a big jungle where there's these humans, and some of the humans are like, I don't want to work, and so she's like, please, like, keep me alive, and the guy's like, I'll do the fucking work. And then I wonder if men basically just pay for their ugliness. They're like, somebody's got to do the grunt work. The person, and then some people try to get out of doing the grunt work. What do you think, Sean? I don't know. I just would imagine it shapes out in lots. That's my general assessment. My general assessment is like, somebody has to pay the bills, but if you can find a way to not do it, that's good. And so some women find a way to not do it by getting fucked, or just having some guy pay for them, or some people stay with their parents, or some people work, and then I think really the reality of it is just some people, when they're young and cute, 18 to mid 30s, just sex just happens. Like young people, they're just gonna hook up. They're just gonna be like, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me. And dude, that's like the best period of life. That's really like, that's life. That's kind of my general conclusion at this age, is that life really is like 18 to 35. Like that's when you're you at your most, and you're not like diminished and falling apart. And then yeah, maybe it really just seems like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it really just seems like more developed version of fruits and flowers. I'll say this over and over. I'm gonna shut up a second. But fruits and flowers, we actually share ancestors with fruits and flowers. If you ask ChatGPT, according to science, we have a common ancestor with fruits and flowers, and they basically they're born against their will. They bloom, and before they bloom, they're not ripe. So that's kind of like kids. Kids are like not ripe yet. They're not. The birds and the bees are not interested in them, and then they bloom, and when the fruits and flowers are at their maximum point of bloom, some of them are like, pick me, and the birds and the bees help some of them. They get picked by the birds and the bees, and then they spread their seed, and then they just kind of like, they wither and die. And so I'm just like, that's it. That's life. Life is kind of like, and then I guess you can do stuff. You can like play games. You can make little art projects in the meantime. You could be like, well, and then I don't know. Some people try to like not get stuck doing some horrible stuff. That might be the name of the game now. If I have to move out of here, I'm gonna be like, shit. Like, I don't want to get stuck. What's the least awful way that I can work? What do you think, Tom? What is the least awful way you could work? Well, there's like, it could, like, I want to like socialize. So maybe if I had some like waiter job or some like job where I can, I don't know, something not awful, something where I don't have to wake up too early. Anyway, if nobody wants to chat with me. I know I sound like a desperate loser type person, so nobody wants. But if you ever want to chat at like 8 in the morning, it would be cool to just chat, and I'll just ask you questions. I can ask you interview questions. I can ask you like weird low life questions, or I'll just try to talk to you like a normal human being. I used to be able to, when I was like a little kid, I used to talk with people like a normal human being, and then I think early college, I seem to remember I had some social skills. I was never like a social butterfly, but I can sort of talk like a normal person. I've just been in this room now for like 10 years, and so things have gotten kind of isolated and weird. Anyway, probably no one's going to respond to this, but I guess I'll go back to sleep for another hour, or maybe I'll go running. I'm gonna shut up a second. As long as I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm gonna rant about a bunch of depressing shit.